All right, guys, so without any further ado, we are going to kick off the spoiler discussion here. And first, I'll just kick it off where I really enjoyed this episode. I like it was very much more a character driven kind of just setting. It was a lot of setup for the finale, but it was set up with character development, like nice character beats, like all the stuff with Isaiah and Sam. That was great stuff. And then Bucky and Sam on the boat, and Sam Sam playing with the shield. Sam training with the shield was all very cool. And then you had some interesting stuff in there though that kind of like I brought this up on stream the other day where if you had to have subtitles on to see this part and actually like get the whole aspect of it. But when they showed Sharon on the phone, she was speaking French, and then she said something about like you owe me something for like getting you out of jail or whatever. But then like it shows in the subtitles like Batroc responds in French. So Sharon literally was like the one who sent Batroc, the Leaper, George St. Pierre, to Carly at the end of the episode, which is like, well, what's going on with Sharon? This keeps raising more questions about Sharon. Like, is she playing both sides? Is she connected to the power broker in some way? Is she the power broker? Like, who the hell knows? Then you had Elaine Bennis drop in. That was good. And she was supposed to have actually been. We should have already been exposed to her character. She was supposed to be in. Well, she is in Black Widow. So, like I was saying this to Rick the other day on stream too. Like I feel like that scene she was in. It was just kind of. It felt like we should have known more about her character, the way she came in there and like just asserted herself in the situation, because we had no idea who the hell she was. But had we seen Black Widow already, like we were supposed to have, I feel like that scene would have held like even more weight to it because we would have been like, oh shit, that's the person from the thing who did the thing, that kind of aspect. But it was still cool, and there's a lot of different ways, like with her character being introduced, like this thing could go. Like in the comics, she was like a Skrull. She's connected to like the Dark Avengers. That could obviously be being set up now with Zemo going to the Wrath as opposed to not Wakanda to be executed kind of thing, like which is kind of peculiar. So that was pretty much all things I can think of off the top of my head. So I'll kick it over to you, Rick. What did you think about this episode here?
It was good. It was good. There was a lot going on, and like you said, it was pretty character driven. I personally really liked watching Sam like kind of find himself as Captain America and like really start like pushing himself with like the shield scenes and when he was like training and all that. Dude definitely got in really good shape for it too. But it was cool seeing like Bucky bring him that box, which we talked about the other day too.
Oh wait, Rick, what do you think is in the box?
Shut up.
No, I'm not talking about you. It's all the people.
Oh,
everyone.
well, I was curious, but I kind of figured. I was like, obviously, it's a suit.
Like, yeah, like how do you not do? I've seen so many people just like, what? Do you think there's like some wings in the box? And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like it's so painfully obvious what's in the fucking box, dude. Right. It's not 7, dude. Like, there's no surprise to it. It's the freaking suit, dude. Right. It's that simple. But go on, Rick.
No, I just I thought it was good. I don't really know how else to put it. Like I liked it. I like the boat scenes and where you get to see and hear more about like Isaiah Bradley and like his whole story and what happened to him and why he is the way he is. But I don't know too. The other thing I thought was kind of cool, and I don't know how to say it, maybe cool, but how he was talking to Sam, and he was just like, no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America, and I don't think that's true. Like I think Sam's perfect for that, and I think it'd be cool to have a black Captain America, like especially one that flies.
Well, that's why I think too. Like in Sam's mind, he's like this contradictory to the fact, and like he's like. Well, maybe the world, because you think that is exactly why the world needs a black Captain America or could use one. You know what I mean? Like, why it would mean something for a black man to do it.
Very symbolic, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's kind of like it works in opposites. It's like, self-respecting black men want to do it, but the moment one does do it, it adds a whole new meaning to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like at that point, there is that figure there. You know what I mean? So it brings a whole new level to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
John, what were your what are your overall thoughts on it? We can go in and like break some more stuff down.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot going on in the show, and I'm trying to remember it all. Like after only one viewing, I feel like I might have misunderstood certain aspects of it. At one point, didn't Sam's sister come to him and say something like, "You're not going to let that old man determine what you do," or something? Was there a line like that she said to him after he had spoken with Isaiah? And he was trying to
Maybe.
decide. I feel like she said something to that extent at the end, and he said something like no and stuff. It's one of those like types of things. Like I'm completely on board with what Rick was saying. Like I'd love to see Sam take over the role, and I mean obviously with the spoilers and stuff that are out there, I think that's the way it's going. I think it's very interesting and probably good that the show is exploring the fact that I think the show is doing a good job of showing how complicated the idea of race is, and especially in our country, and it's complicated not just because of the surface stuff that goes on, like just the for lack of a better way to put it, like the optics. The government, because of optics, gave the shield to a blonde hair, blue eyed white person to continue the role, because obviously that's how the government sees, the idea of a Captain America. Um, so there you've got those issues that are going on there, very clear just on the surface, but then you have all the historical context and everything else that goes into it. So you have these two, you have even people that, on the surface you would think would feel the same way, like, oh, black people would think this way about it, and they don't. Everybody comes at these things framed by their own experiences and their own prejudices, and it's such a complicated thing. And I like seeing that the show isn't making it just a simple thing like, oh, we're just giving the shield to Sam. So I don't know. I'm not sure that has a lot to do with the actual content of the show itself or the story points, but I found that whole aspect of this particular episode really interesting. Um, the Elaine Bennis was really shocking to me. Like I had heard that there was a surprise guest in the show, and then when she showed up, I was like, "Well, that's Elaine." And then like her character is kind of a really small character in the comics. I'm not even that very. I read quite a few Marvel comics, and I'm not even real familiar with her character. So it'll be interesting to see where they take her. Trying to think of other, anything else major. That I thought the opening fight between John Walker and Bucky and Sam was phenomenal. I thought that was a really exciting, maybe because I've been waiting for it. Like I've wanted to see it for a while. I was kind of, to be honest, shocked at how well John Walker held his ground against both of them. I thought he might get in a few good licks, but Sam and Bucky would take him down fairly easily, and it was a pretty knockdown, drag out affair there. So I
That's the
was I
one
was
thing that I
surprised
wasn't
by
too
that.
thrilled about was how, because I said this before, when they throw down, Bucky has been he's been a super soldier for 100 years, been assassinating fools for 100 years. John Walker has been, yeah, a soldier for how some odd years, whatever, but he ain't been doing it for 100 years. So that was my only thing where it was like, yeah, he should be able to like get in some blows, but I almost feel like they made him like a bit too formidable going up against Bucky and Sam. You
And
know what I
Sam,
mean?
yeah. He
That
did have the shield, so that gives him, I mean, Bucky's
yeah.
got his vibranium arm, so you kind of think that's almost a wash between those two things. But yeah, I know I definitely was surprised by that aspect of it.
It didn't bother me that he held his own as well as he did, like, because I wouldn't expect him just to get, like, steamrolled by any means. It wasn't
Sure.
just, like, some novice going up against freaking George St. Pierre, for instance, like, it was just yeah, he's outnumbered, and he's facing a super soldier who is very experienced, and then Sam.
Mhm.
So it's like, I don't know.
Mhm.
Felt like it should have been a little bit easier, but it didn't bother me. It was a good fight regardless. It was a good
Mhm.
fight, so I did enjoy that. So, not to
Yeah.
interrupt, but
Yeah.
No, no, not at all. Yeah, I thought the case at the end. I haven't looked at anything online, so I'm a little surprised that there's a lot of questions about what's in the case. I think maybe Marvel intentionally not showing it it just led people to maybe question that. But yeah, I think with Sam having left his wings or whatever with his buddy, I can't remember his buddy's name in the army now, but
Torres.
Torres, he told him, keep the wings. I think that's a clear indicator he needs a new set. So
Well, and it was set up for him because he's Falcon in the comics too. Torres.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
when
that's
Sam
right. That's right.
becomes
He
Cap,
is.
he becomes Falcon. So I was like, oh, they're
That's right.
setting that up.
So he's got the wings now. Yeah.
Yeah, now
So
he can fix them, and then he can be Falcon, and Sam's gonna have his cool new vibranium, red, white, and blue vibranium wing Falcon suit. It'd be pretty cool.
I'm a little confused. This is there's a whole nother aspect of this, but I was a little confused by the Wakandan's reaction to Bucky. She told him, you may want to stay out of Wakanda for a while, almost as if they were upset with what I understand that they're upset with what he'd done, but he didn't. It wasn't like he broke their word to them. It wasn't like he was like, no, I'm letting him go now. Like he did what he needed to get him back. Like he understands the importance of this guy being imprisoned to the Wakandans and like was not going to allow him to go free. So I'm not sure I quite understood what the motivations there were or what she meant by that. And then obviously he asked for her help in getting Sam his new what we're assuming is his new suit, which I thought was very cool. It's gonna be cool to see that tied in. The other aspect of that whole thing that I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't address, but I thought when we first saw the Wakandans in this show, I thought, oh my God, they're going to address Chadwick's passing. We're gonna hear something about Black Panther or something in this. And barring them showing up in the final episode, I think they kind of passed that buck down the road a little bit. Is that the right? I'm thinking I'm combining phrases or whatever, but
It
but
works.
they left that to be dealt with in a future story, which is probably the smarter move. It's probably smarter that they give Ryan Coogler a chance to come up with a story for Black Panther 2 that addresses that. But it was definitely interesting because when they first showed up, I thought, oh my God, it was kind of like heartbroken because I hadn't even considered them addressing that. I thought they were going to address that, and now I've kind of feel like that isn't going to be addressed till later on, which is fine by me. I feel it's probably appropriate.
Yeah, I feel like, dude, I don't even know if Ryan Coogler and them know what they're doing yet at this point. You know what I mean? Because it's just
He's
a very.
supposed to be he's supposed to be working on the script right now.
That's what
So
I'm
I mean,
saying. But I don't know, like, do they? He's working on it. So, like, do they even? Because this was shot way before that happened. So, if Chadwick had done something for
this was
this,
shot before that happened. He
yeah, because
passed what, August of last year?
this was shot pre-pandemic, and they decided to do it. Got interrupted because of the pandemic, so they were working on this before that.
Okay.
You know. So I
Okay.
don't have the exact dates on my head, but like they were working on this, and then like this was Black Widow should have already been out. That got delayed because of the pandemic. Then this was supposed to come out. Was this supposed to come out at the end of the year last in 2020, or was it supposed to be the beginning of 2021? Because I know WandaVision was supposed to come out in 2020. I mean, everything got pushed back, and then like this, they hadn't finished filming yet when like stuff got shut down, so they had to go back and finish a couple things. But like they had already had this stuff like done, like at
Falcon and
least
Soldier Falcon and Winter Soldier began filming in October of 2019.
yeah. So like it was a while ago.
Mhm.
So like if they had plans for like Chadwick or anything like that, it would have been done like prior to that his passing and everything. But
Yeah.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
like it. With same goes for like Black Panther 2, like they had a plan for it, so
They
now
filmed
they had to
they,
rework everything.
yeah, they filmed final scenes for Falcon and Winter Soldier in fall of 2020, this article says. So, yeah, I'm curious if that affected the it doesn't seem like it did, at least story-wise. It doesn't seem like there was a
Yeah.
place for it. So,
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine if they would have had Chadwick in here in any way, they could have just cut him out. Because like if the
mhm.
Wakandans were here, so like it would make sense if Black Panther would have been there for like at least a couple minutes.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not like his character's needed by any means. So it obviously the Wakandans just being there and the Dora Milaje themselves being there, it makes perfect sense. The only thing that with me that I had with this scene is like I almost feel like them explicitly saying that they are taking Zemo to the raft is potential setup for like Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or something. Because why on earth would they just not take him back to face like Wakandan justice? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like
Where
them.
was he being held prior to this? Was he at
Germany.
Strikers? He was in
I
Germany.
think he was in a prison in
Is that
Germany.
where
Yeah,
they bust him out of?
Yeah.
Like, it's odd that he didn't go back to that prison. Like,
exactly.
why are they taking him to the raft? Yeah, that is odd.
So that's why I feel like the raft where Thunderbolt Ross is, where Abomination is,
Omega Red.
who we know is going to be coming into She-Hulk, like they could be setting up some Thunderbolts here. Like I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like you never know. Young Avengers have been like, whoa, we were like one freaking Hulkling away from all the Young Avengers being on screen here at some point. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a possibility. So that's the only odd thing I thought about. This whole episode, like, why are they taking him to the raft? Like, I just feel like there had to be more with that. It's just like, because like you said, why wouldn't he just go back to the prison he got broken out of? Like, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else. I think I liked all the stuff with Sam. That's all good stuff. I remember in this scene that you were talking, like you were trying to think of like what she said. In one scene, they said something about the fight, and Sam said that like if I stop now, then what would have been the point of all the fights before, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember her saying anything directly related to Isaiah, but I
Okay.
remember them having a conversation about essentially everything Sam had done and fought for up until this point, and his response was, "Yeah, what? Like, I'm not going to stop because then what was all that for?" Essentially. So this was all good, and then like they're not selling the boat.
I loved Bucky flirting. I combined
Yeah,
Oh,
Bucky
dude,
and
yeah.
that
Bucky.
was good stuff
Bucky
too.
flirting with Sam's sister and Sam's reaction. That was so good.
That was
Right.
really good.
Cracking me up.
But yeah, and then so the only other thing, I'll see if I can pull it up here. That Sharon phone call was really the only other thing that kind of was like, well, that's weird.
Right.
But like I already kind of mentioned it. I just wanted to show it up for like proof. Because like, did you
That
catch that in the show, John?
that she got him released.
Was talking to Batroc and like sent Batroc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she got back. I assumed I actually took that as confirmation that she's the weapon. Is it weapons dealer? Is that what
The
they're
power
calling them?
broker.
The power broker. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of took that as confirmation that she's the power broker. Now
That's what I was
maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Still,
yeah, no,
but
exactly. That
that's
scene lends the most weight to that.
sure. I
'Cause
love
it
the scene when Sam and right here, this previous to this shot where they were almost playing toss with the shield,
Yeah, right,
off
yeah.
ricochets.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was good. That
like
was
a
good.
frisbee. Yeah. Throwing that disc.
Yeah, I can't find that stupid phone call scene was so quick. I missed the like when I was watching the show for the first time, I was like on my phone. Like I think I was talking to you guys in Discord or something. So like I missed that whole scene altogether. And I didn't find out about it later, and then I went back and I was like, well, yeah, she really was talking to Batroc. Like, what the fuck? That's weird.
I think it was more towards the end.
Well, it had to be before Batroc showed up. That's the only reason I was like, because I got to the point where Batroc showed up with here. So it's like,
No, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was after that.
how would she call him after that? Her whole thing was to get him to go here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
It was. I
This
mean,
is the end. Yeah,
this is aside. This is aside from it, but it was a long episode too. This was almost a full hour. This was
Mhm.
which was nice. You're at 37-minute mark. Go to the 37-minute mark. That's where the Sharon scene is.
where I'm at.
37,
There it
37.
is.
There
Yeah,
you go.
here it is. Yeah, it says if it weren't for me, you'd be rotting in an Algerian prison, Batroc speaking French. So, like, what is she doing with Batroc? And that's the thing too, is like, was she in cahoots with Batroc prior? Like at the beginning? Was she in charge and like with Batroc when that whole deal was going on that Sam broke up in the opening the opening of the series, the big flight battle?
Hmm.
Or did she just call him up out of the blue to do this thing with Carly? But then too, why is she giving stuff to Carly? Because she's supposed to be working with Sam to stop Carly.
Right. That's
You know what I
what I think we're
mean?
gonna see. I mean, like, yeah, I did
That's
not expect that.
it's interesting. 'Cause it's like this has been the biggest indication that she is at least tied to the power broker in some way. But at the same time, the very thing that contradicts that is the power broker wants to kill Carly because Carly took the super soldier serum. And then the other thing that directly
That's true. That's a good point.
and then in that scene where the doctor guy who made the super serum got killed, the power broker that was his main asset. His or her main asset was that freaking doctor. So if she was the power broker, why on earth would she have sent men to defend the power broker from her, Bucky, and Sam and Zemo? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this is a comic book thing, so who knows?
Yeah, I
But
was
then,
gonna say,
if she is power broker, though, she would have sent her men there to get killed by her and Sam and them. So it again makes no sense.
yeah.
But it is weird. Like, I don't know if maybe she really is just like pulling some weight, essentially. Like, so it's like she helped Batroc at one point, so Batroc owes her a favor. And she's like, go get this thing to Sam or to what's her name, because it'll inevitably help Sam in some way, like it's bugged or something. So now Sam can track her, and like that's all it is. Like there's a tracker and the fucking weapons they gave her that George St. Pierre gave. I don't know.
It's possible.
That's the best guess I have for it, is like she just using Batroc to further help herself and Sam.
All right, I found the quote I was talking about. If you go to the 46-minute mark, 46:19, actually 46:25 almost, it looks like. Sam's sister says to him, "So you're really going to let Isaiah Bradley get in your head?" And then
Yeah, right here.
she asks him, "Are you going to let him decide what you do next?" And then Sam explains that he understands where Isaiah is coming from. But then, like you said, he says the part about what would all the sacrifice have been for. So
yeah, so we were talking about
really,
the same thing.
Yeah, just a really, I mean, to me, those were some really powerful scenes there. That just, I felt like Marvel, as much as a TV show about superheroes can, was doing justice to the complicated nature of just everything. Everything involving race and the way people perceive different people, and people perceive different racial things that go on in this country. So I really appreciated those scenes and liked that they threw them in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, like, because everyone always complains, or not like complains, but like a lot of people don't like the superhero stuff because like they don't have any substance and it's just all this and that, and it's like, I don't know what you guys are watching, because this shit's, a lot of it can be really deep, man,
and I think
very relevant.
I think it's irresponsible in a lot of ways to make things black and white. To just make things. I didn't mean black and white as a. It's
Yeah.
I wish I had a better analogy, but it makes it's irresponsible to make things either one way or the other. There's so much gray, and there's so much middle things that people think they're in the middle, and like I like that they're exploring that idea that they have different, they have similar life experiences, but they come at things from a completely different angles. So
yeah.
Well, what do you think here? Let's close off here with Great Value Cap making this shield here. What do you think's gonna happen here at the end? You think he's gonna like try to redeem himself, or you think he's gonna be? Because I made the point too, where it's kind of odd to where the government's kind of thrown him out and like discharged him. He's done, but he still wants to do the red, white, and blue thing, and I find that to be like peculiar. So it's like, is he gonna like try to redeem himself as Captain America?
Because he really said, he's like, I am Captain America.
Yeah,
well, that's what it is.
Rogue.
Yeah, I think he's just straight going. I think he still believes that he's Captain America. I don't think it's a matter of him thinking he needs to redeem himself. I think he just straight up believes that he's Cap, and they can't just take that away from him.
I think the serum messed with his head. a little
You
bit.
think he's going to? So you think he's going to show up and try to like kill Carly and like
Maybe he
do
thinks that
that?
that'll redeem him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
or is he going to come in and try to kill Sam and them? Like, is he going to be trying to be like a Punisher kind of person and only
Well-
killing bad guys, or is he going to be doing his own thing?
The symbolism too with the Medal of Honor, where he like lays it on the shield or whatever. Like it's almost like he's doing it, maybe trying to at least in an honorable way. But I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I also found it odd though that he's making his own shield,
Gotta
especially
steal.
with his interaction with Elaine, with Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character. I would have thought he would have called her, and that because she clearly has some, you would assume, some financial backing to be going
Right.
out and basically hiring people. So you would think he would just go to her and be like, okay, yeah, I'll be your cap or whatever, but I need my equipment. And like, I don't know. Because she was
Right.
all like, I mean, she clearly knew everything. Like, I know you don't have the shield, and I know this, that, and the other thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with her character. She's like, obviously she's in more than just this. So, and we should have known more about her because we should have seen her in Black Widow. So, like, I don't know. We don't know
yeah,
what kind of weight she actually pulls. 'Cause that's why I was saying, like, that scene felt like we should have known who the hell she was in some
Yeah.
ways, and it should have meant something. Instead, we were just like, "What's Elaine doing here?" Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I
Like,
thought.
that's pretty much where everybody was at with it, at least in my mind. So I really don't know. I think he's probably going to be trying to go out in a tone for like not like what he. I think he's going to be like a Punisher kind of character. Like I think that's what he's going on. He's going to go out
You-
and do justice, like the way he thinks
Yeah,
justice is
the way he
justice.
thinks it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
do you think there's another confrontation coming between him and Sam?
Probably. Because
Yeah.
I feel like what he's going to do is just a complete guess, no insider information. I think he's going to keep doing the mission. And the mission was to get Carly and the Flag Smashers. And that's what Sam's doing.
Yeah, he wants
So-
to beat him
Well,
to
and,
it.
and
Yeah.
and that's actually, we didn't talk about that either. That's the other part of that. Remember the scene with him going to Battlestar's family and talking with them
Oh,
about,
yeah.
he said that was the person that killed them, and they were like, well, thank God, because I think the only way he would rest in peace is knowing that his killer had been brought to justice. Well, he wasn't the one that killed him.
No.
It was one of the other Flag Smashers that killed
It
him,
was
right?
Carly,
So
I think.
was it Carly?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Carly
like
kicked him, yeah.
I think he took that to heart, and like that's his mission now, is to give Battlestar, or put Battlestar to rest, like get the person that actually is responsible.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I think there's some personal motivation on top of just the responsibility of the mission or whatever that's
Yeah.
included now. So anyway, I was just like, it's going to be great to see Sam throw his shield and just basically annihilate, shatter this
I know.
Right.
version that John Walker is piecemealing together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this don't look like no vibranium.
No.
I don't think this is going to hold up that well.
No, I
No.
don't think it will either.
Definitely, he's living up to the name Great Value Cap.
Yep.
Like, for sure. With his wish.com shield, as Rick so accurately put it.
Yeah.
So, well, we're going to call it there, guys. So, Rick, where can everybody find you online? Unless you guys got anything else you want to add by any means.
Oh no.
I think we covered it.
Okay, cool. Well,
Can't
Rick,
wait for the final episode, but then we got our little hiatus until June, right?
yeah, and then it's going to be a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to talk about for the last part of the show now. We're going to have to come up with some other thing to spoil or discussion on. That's another thing, too, dude. Invincible is only supposed to be like 8 episodes, so that's going to be over in like
Yeah.
a couple weeks, too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We could do an episode just on the entire Invincible series
Yeah, we
as a
could.
whole too.
Yeah, for
We could
sure.
do a quick segment at the end. I don't know that there's I mean, since we haven't been doing episode by episode, discussion, we could do the entire series, just a general overview.
Yeah, we could recap it. That'd be
Yeah.
good. It's a good show, man. It's really good.
It is.
It's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out. You have Amazon Prime, so you should definitely
do.
check it out. It's good. Really good.
It's a quick, like are they quick?
They're long episodes. They're like 40
They are
minutes.
longer, aren't they?
Yeah.
But you can break them. You can break them down. Like you can watch 20 minutes and stop it at the
Yeah.
end of a scene and
Yeah.
jump back into it and stuff. So
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's adult animation. Like
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. That's very
not
adult.
not adult
Yeah, not
animation, but
it's a bit gory, for a comic
it's
book
gory,
looking
yes.
show.
Yeah.
Best way, it's gory.
That sounds cool though.
It's really good.